Good morning, everyone. I'm still in the hotel with the good Wi-Fi, so you're going to be able to see parts of me that you wouldn't normally see. High definition. This is 4K that I got here, so try to not be distracted by all the handsomeness that you're seeing, and just focus on what I'm talking about because we have an important discussion today. I'm going to take your calls, of course, but first I want to guide the discussion with what I'm thinking about. And today it's the future. I know you guys are thinking about probably OTAs, Trey Lance, the upcoming season, as you should, your fans. I'm thinking about the future because I'm quality control. As I say, they don't pay me nothing to do nothing. I got to do something here to earn my paycheck, which never has arrived. And what I'm thinking about is the upcoming drafts. No first round pick in 2022, no first round pick in 2023. You got to get some picks. You got to find a way to fill in those gaps. And the great thing about the NFL is there's always a way. It's not that hard. What's the best way for the Niners to get a first-round pick next year? What's the best way for them to get a first-round pick in 2023? I've floated the idea before of trading Kyle Shanahan. I don't think it's going to come to that. They're probably going to need him to develop Trey Lance. If they had drafted Mac Jones, that would have been on the table, but they didn't. Shanahan preserved his job for this time. Good going, Kyle. So I don't think they're going to trade Kyle Shanahan. Who else could the Niners trade for multiple first-round picks? I'm thinking Nick Bosa. And I know a lot of people get very uncomfortable when talking about trading Nick Bosa. But here's the way I look at it. Hey, if you could get 2 first-round picks for Nick Bosa, if you could get 1 first-round pick for Nick Bosa, you got to consider it. Because either you think Nick Bosa is injury prone or you don't. And I think he is. And here's why. His entire game is based on having the biggest, strongest legs in the world. His legs are unreal. I've never seen legs that muscled up ever. Have you? So he gets by on sheer leg strength. Now, he has good hand technique and stuff, but he doesn't have long arms. He's not particularly tall. He's not the fastest guy. He is, by far, the strongest defensive end in the NFL, and it's primarily generated through his legs. When I asked Robert Saleh last year what makes Nick Bosa great, it was maybe 2 years ago. He's the strongest defensive end in the NFL, and he's a rookie. He gets underneath people like Mike Tyson. That was a good analogy. Problem with Nick Bosa, all of that dominance, all of his game is predicated on these Herculean thighs. Well, it seems like there's too much mass and weight and force on those tiny little tendons in those legs. And that's what I said when he was coming out of Ohio State. He's too muscled up. He could win a bodybuilding competition. But as a football player, I'm concerned that the tiny little tendons are going to keep busting. Now, what I notice about him is when he is healthy, he's diving on the ground a lot. It takes him, he's constantly like parallel to the ground, prone. And when the play's over, people could fall on him. I mean, he puts himself in very compromised positions a lot when he's healthy. Also, when he's healthy, his whole game is predicated on explosion off the snap. Now he has 2 surgically repaired ACLs and a core muscle surgery he's had. At what point is he going to lose explosion? It seems to me that he needs to lighten up. He needs to take some mass off of his legs. He needs to maybe be a 3-4 outside linebacker, have a standing start. You need to take some of the violence out of his motion because things, I don't know. I question the longevity no matter what scheme he's in, how you use him. But I'm thinking yesterday, a couple of days ago, I was talking about what the Niners, like the realistic expectations for Nick Bosa next year. And I was saying, the Niners, they need to really put him on a snap count because he's their future. I don't know. The other way to look at it is he's injury prone. Don't baby him. Play him next year. Get all you can for him. And then instead of extending his contract after 2021, trade him and get a first-round pick in 2022 and hopefully a first-round pick in 2023. Because if he plays great next year, he's going to command $25, $27, $30 million. And I don't trust him. I think he's going to be the kind of guy who keeps getting injured and keeps coming back and then gets injured again. So God love Nick Bosa. Good luck to you. But I think that's the trade chip the Niners have to consider. Do you want to baby him and pay him a lot of money? Here's what the Niners can do. He's going to be up for a contract extension after next season. They can baby him and give him 400 snaps next year and try to project what he's going to be with a full workload down the line and give him a contract based on that projection. Or they can just play him this year, see what he's got. If he breaks down again, oh well. If he doesn't, you can trade for a first-round pick. Seems to me that that's the way to fill in the gap that the Niners created by trading for Trey Lance. I know the Niners. I'm not even reading your comments. I'm sure you guys don't like the idea, but you can call in and tell me what you think. Happy Mother's Day. Don't forget to tell your mom or your wife you love her today. Without them, we wouldn't be who we are today. Hey, babe. I love you. She didn't say it back. Hey, you out there? Oh, she said she loved me. That was nice. I'm going to call my mom too. I will. I promise, Greg. Thank you. All right. Let me put my coffee down and put the invite code in here. Boom. There you go. Invitation to call in. Let's do this quick and then get back to Mother's Day. All right. Boom. All right. We don't have to talk about Nick Bosa. That's what's on my mind. Creative ways to get a number one pick next year. All right, I'm going to try to jump some people to the front of the line that didn't call in yesterday, but I'm going to take everyone. Don't worry. Don't worry. Hey, Sai, how you doing? Good to see you. I can't hear you. Is it just me? Test. Call back in. Call back in. Call back in. Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Good, and you?
What's up, man?
Pretty good, man. What's up?
Man, so why are you talking about Nick Bosa like that? Come on, Grant.
I'm just trying to
be. You got the comments blowing up over there.
Look, next offseason, without a first-round pick, I'm worried about my hits. I think they're going to be down. I need a first-round pick to talk about. We got to trade Nick Bosa just for my bank account.
Yeah. Well,
you guys don't seem moved by that.
I agree with you, actually.
Okay.
He's got to play this year. You just got to throw him in there, let him play. And, if he balls out, what I think, though, they should maybe give him like a 2 or 3 year contract. And then that'll line up with the time they have to pay Trey Lance. Because that's when they're really going to be hurting for money, is when they have to re-up Trey Lance and give him big money if he isn't a bust, So that, to me, makes more sense than getting rid of him right away.
No.
I think. Oh, go ahead. Please tell me.
Sorry.
Like,
it is kind of risky because we seen some videos of him working out, and it does look like he's in pretty good shape. But it's like, okay, what if he gets out on the field and he gets hurt again? Is it going to be a Jimmy situation all over again? So it's a risk always, but.
You saw that video he made where he was like giving himself a massage. It was like an NC-17 video, but like he's really trying to show off his legs in the video. Those legs, they're very impressive, and everyone talks about them. I've never seen an NFL player with legs like that, ever. I just don't think they're functional. I think they're going to get him in trouble. I think they're going to keep getting hurt, man. Now he's got two surgeries on the knees. Man, those tendons don't get strong just because I don't know, man. I don't know. All I'm saying is, don't they need a first-round pick next year?
Let me ask you this, Grant. How impressive are those legs?
Well,
she just batted her eyelashes when you asked the question. She was like, they're pretty nice.
I guess they're pretty impressive, Grant.
That's what I'm saying about Nick Bosa. He's built to win like a bodybuilding contest. He's a very good looking guy. I'm just saying, man, your body keeps breaking down. You're not even 24 yet. Is he 24 yet? I don't think he's 24 yet. I don't know.
I think
I'm 33 and I haven't had those kind of problems, but I don't have legs like that. They're real skinny. Sorry.
Well, also, Grant, let me say this: like it's good to have you back, because all of this sunshine and rainbows, Grant Cohn we've been seeing, You're catching a lot of heat for that
Just
online. I don't
just
know
get
if
me
you know
started
that.
on Nick Bosa, and I'll alienate the entire fan base in 20 minutes, no problem.
This is a real Grant Cohn coming back to us. He was MIA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
What
know.
I
I was
think
a
you
little
were going
too. I was a
soft for
little
a
too
little bit.
positive. Yeah, sorry about that.
So
Sorry about that. I'll
speaking of
bring
that,
back the real
Grant,
stuff.
we're
Mhm.
releasing our draft grades today. We're releasing a video. Fans out there, if you want like somebody to hate, you're probably gonna hate us because we don't do this sunshine and rainbow stuff. Like our grades are not as good as some of these people out here thinking that we scored it huge and well.
Yeah.
You're rubbing
I've
off
gone
on me,
soft.
man.
They filled the void. Everyone check them out today if you're trying to get the real that I used to provide and no longer can deliver. Right here, Chewy and Alejandro.
All right, thanks, Grant.
Thanks.
I'll be checking it out. Thanks, guys. Good to see you.
Good
All
to
right,
see you. Bye.
later, man.
Good to see you. All right. Let me see if I can get Sai again. Sai.
Hey, Grant, can you hear me now?
Oh, there we are. Yeah, absolutely. How you doing?
All right. Excellent. So what I wanted to talk about today, Grant, was the Trey Lance Jimmy G, who's going to be the week 1 starter.
Sure.
Yeah, I strongly believe the week 1 starter is going to be Trey Lance. And here are some of the reasons why I think, and I was hearing your thoughts during the week with different folks, right?
Mhm.
What I think is, I mean, I know that we talk about, hey, Trey Lance will be the starter if he's going to be ready, right? And
Yes.
what exactly do we think ready means here? And there are a few things that I was thinking about. The first one is he needs to get the playbook down. So in other
Yep.
words, you cannot have Shanahan have a compressed playbook. Remember when we talked about when Jimmy came in, he had this smaller version of the playbook because Jimmy had just a month to get it down. So the number one thing is he needs to understand the playbook, and everything that we have heard so far, we believe that he can get the playbook down pretty quick, pretty fast, right? He's supposed to be super smart. So
Yeah.
that's number one. Assuming that that is down, he's good from that perspective. Now, the second thing that we need is for him to uh, essentially get the execution down, right? Like again,
Mhm.
as he's like working through in the practice, and again, everything that we have heard so far, I mean, Jimmy G is not super good in the practice, right? And
Right.
if you put those two together, the only last thing that is remaining for him is to get actual game day experience. And how are you going to get the game day experience? Like unless you actually go out and play there. So I think if you put all of these together, and I was listening to one of the I think podcast a while before the draft from his quarterback coach Quincy Avery. During his
Yes.
offseason, they were preparing him for an NFL schedule. Like so it means he had uh, like Tuesdays like breaking down the film, like Wednesdays like install, and then Fridays red zone offense. And they were literally training him for real NFL practice and real
Mhm.
NFL game day.
Mhm.
So that's what I feel is he's going to be ready to go day one, the first week of NFL, and he's going to be the starter.
Look, I put a $50 bottle of wine on this too. I hope
Yeah.
that you're right, and I think that I see the same thing too. Jimmy Garoppolo is not that good. He's not that good in practice. Only thing is, Shanahan has been able to prop him up statistically. When he plays in games, usually his numbers are okay or better than that, and he usually wins. So if the only thing with Trey Lance is Kyle Shanahan has to determine if he can do the same thing with Lance right away. If Lance comes in and his numbers are terrible and he's not winning, it's going to be a scandal because at least Jimmy can do those things. So it seems like it shouldn't be a problem with Lance. He's very talented. It's a very good team. It shouldn't be a problem.
Correct. And the other thing is like playing under the center, right? That could be another reason why rookie quarterbacks are not ready because they don't play in the center. Lance doesn't have that issue as well. So he doesn't have playbook issue, doesn't have playing under the center issue. All he needs is playing time. And the only way to get him is like put him out there in week one. The
Do you think
flip
it's
side of
smart that Kyle's saying right now, just taking the pressure off him now, being like, look, it's not a
Yeah,
competition yet. It's
exactly.
May. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
right now he's just doing. And if you look at it from Kyle's perspective, and I feel that sometimes we are losing track of this. It's entire off season. If you think about Kyle, the way he has talked, it's like he's ready to move on from Jimmy, right? And I know that in the last like week or so, he's been trying to soften that a little bit. But the entire offseason, every action, every move has been about moving on from Jimmy. And what I feel is, even if you look at it from a different perspective, it's just bad business to keep Jimmy at $25 million, right? I mean, it just doesn't make sense at all, because it's not just about JDR coming and saying, "Hey, we can afford it, we can put it in the salary cap." It means that you're taking that money away from some other players, right?
Right.
Because ultimately, it's going to
Other
hit your
positions. Yeah.
other positions. It's going to hit
Yeah.
your cap. Why would
Your
you?
team isn't as good as it could have been if you'd spent that money elsewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is. I think from that perspective, also, it doesn't doesn't make any
It's a waste.
sense.
It's a waste.
It's a total waste, and I
Yeah.
feel, I think either before the game start, and imagine if they put Jimmy out there and he gets hurt again, it's going to be that you're just losing them all that money, because now at that point you cannot do anything,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, maybe he's not getting some of his game shots, but it's you get the injury guarantee for him, and it just
So what do you
doesn't
want
have.
to do with Jimmy?
So I would say he gets traded somewhere during the training camp before at least the game day one, or if they cannot do that and Jimmy agrees to it, they renegotiate his contract and make it more a
Yeah.
backup money, 1 year,
Yeah.
$10 million, and
I just
and
don't see
essentially,
who wants to trade for that contract. Not that player, but
exactly.
that contract. Chicago wants
Yeah,
that contract. They now have Justin Fields. Why do they want that contract? How does that help them?
exactly.
For the same reason
Exactly.
the Niners don't want it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And here is one other a little bit of a speculation conspiracy theory. Do you think
Sure.
Jimmy is in Kyle's doghouse? Sometimes I feel that, I know that going back to last year, we talk about, hey, Jimmy didn't come back to play those last 2-3 games. I
Yes.
think if it was Jimmy who was the problem, the players would not be supporting him so much, right? Sometimes I almost feel that Jimmy was actually in Cal's doghouse, and we know
Like,
what
get
that
out of
means,
here.
right?
Hey, get out of here. We
Once,
don't want you. You're done. Yeah. You're done
yeah,
in San
done.
Francisco. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and I feel that that is probably, and here is another speculation. I know that that Monday press conference, when they were all so, when Kyle was like so furious, we all think
Yeah.
that, hey, it was because he didn't get to pick Mac Jones. But thinking about it, I feel that it could very well be that they were about to trade Jimmy for some peanuts, and
Which is what he wants.
which is what he wants.
Yeah.
And John Lynch would have said, like, convinced him, no, you cannot do that. Like, we got to keep
No.
Jimmy. We got to keep
Yeah.
Jimmy. So because everything else, it seemed like he was frustrated more
Right.
about Jimmy.
It's
in
true.
that
The
press
anger
conference.
was directed at Jimmy, one,
Yeah,
and the fans. The
exactly.
fans. His two messages were, Jimmy might be dead in a few days, and the fans need to leave me the hell alone at the soccer games. I love that. It's
Correct.
classic.
Correct.
Classic.
Correct. Exactly. So I think, yeah, it feels like so difficult that Jimmy is going to be there in the roster, but we'll see. Like, I mean, as long as Lance comes and does everything that he's supposed to do, I think they're
Yeah.
moving on from Jimmy. And the other thing is, right after that is when Denver, they finalized the Teddy Bridge deal as well. So I almost feel that we were ready to ship him to Denver for maybe a low round pick, and
Yeah.
then John Lynch probably convinced him, hey, Jimmy is more valuable to us. You got to keep him, etc. So.
But I mean, I can see from Kyle's perspective, if you want to trade Jimmy, the best time to do it is before the draft, before all these teams that need quarterbacks get quarterbacks, because now Chicago's out.
Yeah.
New England's out. I'm thinking.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just, I don't even know if there's any. So Lynch could be like, hey, we get to keep him because we have to keep him. There's nowhere to send him.
Correct.
I think the renegotiation one is what's going to happen. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, Sai. Thanks so much.
All right,
Good to see you.
Thanks, man.
Take care. All right, let's get Jose. You first in line for about 20 minutes. What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good. About yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. James says, can we stop talking about future first-round picks as our future? They are more often than not bust. To get back in the late costs very, very little. All right, well, I think the Niners should get back into the first at some point, because I want to have a first-round pick to talk about next year on my channel. Come on.
Well, it depends who you get it from, though. That's the only way that it would matter, is if you get it from a bad team. I mean, if you get it from a good team, and you get those like late 20s, I mean, that could be a potential starter, but it's it's
The
well documented
injury-prone
that
team
the
could
first
flip some injury-prone players to get some picks. It's not a bad idea. I know people love Nick Bosa though. Anyway, what's on your mind?
So to talk about Nick Bosa, since I mean that's your
Sure.
topic on the video today.
Sure.
I mean, me personally, if I wouldn't have a problem with it if it was a situation of where he became like the new Jimmy. Like when it comes to, he's great when he plays, but he more often doesn't play. So it's. But here's the thing.
I think
though.
he's
Here's the
injury
problem.
prone.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with it though is that I don't think John Lynch would make that type of move because they already made a mistake by trading he who should not be named for a first round pick, and that's already been looked at as the biggest mistake of this regime so far. So to trade another like fan favorite type of dude,
True.
I don't think John Lynch would make that type of move unless he was continuing to get hurt. Because then at that point, there's a built-in excuse if he keeps getting hurt. Is he's not around. He's kind of like the defensive line version of Jimmy. He's great.
Yeah.
He's a great guy, but he's just not here. So I mean,
they have to be honest with themselves. Nick has to be honest with himself. Are you injury prone? Is there something about your body and your play style that lends itself to injuries? Because so far, you're not even 24 years old yet, and look at your history, man. What's going on?
No, it is history because he had that ACL tear in high school, and then he had the core injury, and then now it's another ACL. It definitely adds up. I don't disagree with the whole injury thing because we've had a problem like drafting injured people for a while anyway. So it's
two ACLs. The next thing could be the Achilles. At what point does the explosion? I mean, you got to worry about. To me, he's like he's a smaller version of his brother who maxed out his frame more than his brother did. I mean, I don't think I've seen a player max out his frame more than Nick Bosa ever has.
Half is like goals.
Well, great, man. You really maxed out, but look what's happening to your body. Like you can't.
Right, it's breaking.
The tendons don't get stronger. The tendons don't get stronger. I mean, I'm just saying. So, see, I'm betting that Joey has a longer, more consistent career than Nick Bosa has, just because his body's more, I don't know, proportional.
And the other thing too is that I think Nick is better than his brother Joey. When he plays, I think he is better than his brother. And then the other part of that argument to want to trade a Nick Bosa if he continues not to be,
he's stronger than Nick's stronger.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think you should keep him if he stays healthy and extend him and do what you got to do. But the other part of it too, if he does continue to get hurt for another reason to trade him, is his brother just got a $30 million a year contract. And like I just said, I don't think he's better than Nick. So if Nick continues to stay healthy and do his thing, then he's going to be worth like 35, possibly.
Yeah, and I don't care how good Nick Bosa is when he's healthy. Do you want to give $35 million to a non-quarterback with this kind of injury history? No.
It's very dicey. I just have a hard time, giving a defensive lineman. Granted, I'm a dude who's all about linemen in general, O and D, but $35 million. I'm even sketchy about doing that with a quarterback, let alone other positions on a team.
Yep.
And then two, the other thing I wanted to discuss was, I think the one thing that people are not really expecting or maybe discussing as much is the problem with Trey Lance possibly starting by week 1 or early on in the season is there's one factor. Is there going to be a preseason? I mean, we're expecting there to be a lot of teams to be missing out on the voluntary stuff and then expecting people to be here for OTAs and mini camps or in training camp as well. I mean, but, how much of an offseason is there going to be? Because I don't think there's any updates on the NFL's COVID protocol stuff. And then also,
I'm gonna let you know. I'm supposed to find out from the Niners. They're gonna send out their media availability for the spring training thing like this week because Tracy Sandler posted out the dates, and there's supposed to be rookie mini camp the 14th to the 16th. OTA is supposed to start the 24th, and mini camp is supposed to wrap up on June 10th. So theoretically, there's an off season for Trey Lance to get ready. I don't know.
Theoretically, but at the same time, though, you can't start Trey Lance without seeing him in the preseason. Though you got to actually see him against other NFL teams rather than your own practice squad. So I mean that's the thing though is the key for Trey Lance to start. If you Grant, you're expecting him to start week 1. So if you're expecting Trey Lance to start, you got to see him in those 3 preseason games. You just have to because that's where the real quarterback controversy can really get going. Is seeing him, throw 13 out of 15 passes for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, you got to see that type of stuff.
And that's the funny thing. Kyle can get Weasley with it. He could be like, it's not a competition. It's not a competition. It's not a competition. Right. Jimmy's a starter. And then Jimmy doesn't play in the first preseason game. And then Trey Lance plays the first half and just tears it up. And it's like, oh, actually, it's not a competition because Jimmy was never competing. Trey's the starter. Trey looks good. That's the way.
Right. Yeah. Because like like you were just saying about Jimmy G, if he doesn't start a preseason game, and then you got to get Jimmy out there too, though, to see if he's even.
It's not really a competition. They don't have to call it a competition. It's whenever Trey's ready, he gets the job. Whenever Trey's ready, he gets the job. So Jimmy, whatever you want to do, man, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
So yeah, I mean, you got to start Jimmy at least one preseason game, see what he's been doing in the offseason. Then the next one,
trade value high.
Yeah, and then the next game you can start Trey and kind of get a feel for that by that third preseason game, and then name whatever starter you got. But I honestly feel that you have to have a preseason if you're expecting to start Trey Lance sooner than week 4. I mean, that's just how it has to be, in my opinion.
Agree. Hey, Jose, great to see you, man. Have a good one.
Yep, have a good day, Grant.
All right. What's up, man? Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you too.
How you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Hanging in here with the worst Wi-Fi in the world, just hanging out though.
It could always be worse. So
it could. Hey, hold on. Should I go like this? Hold on. Wait. Is this better? Should I just go like that or no? What do you think? No, I'm not gonna have you make that decision. It's okay. It's all right. Okay. Well, what are we talking about today?
On your topic of Bosa, my thing is love the player, but he is injury prone. That's my concern. And you do bring up good points about wanting to pay a defensive lineman a big chunk of the salary cap when he's not the quarterback or, going to be touching the ball every play or every other play.
Yeah. Not for me.
In today's salary cap, you don't want the quarterback to get more than 20% of the cap, especially when you have to divvy up around.
20%. You don't want to get more than 12%. Yeah, hell yeah. 20%. Wow. Yeah.
Well, let's just say 15% for the argument.
You ain't win the Super Bowl. Yep, that's right.
So that's my thing. And I remember when my favorite 49ers player of all time is Ronnie Lott. And when Bill Walsh drafted him in 1981, I was crushed when he didn't re-sign him after the 10th season because Bill had the philosophy of not signing players beyond their 10th season with the team. That's just what it was at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm the kind of person that says, if I have a player, no matter what sport it is, I don't want to have them beyond 10 seasons because I got the best out of him, and he's unintentionally a declining asset. Can't run as fast, or maybe he doesn't have the arm or the physical gifts start weighing away.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I can understand, and John Lynch, I believe, is smart enough to say, hey, I can't be seeing an asset here, but then I also have to look 3 to 5 years beyond at how I could keep the team continually competitive and in contention for championships, because that's the
I think this team's going to need a first-round pick next year. I mean, I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. They're still building something, and Trey Lance will help a lot, but they could use a first-round pick next year.
Yeah, I agree. And one thing Bill Walsh did, looking back at his drafts in 1981, he had drafted a bunch of defensive backs, very young defensive backs. And to me, another thing about the Bucs is they had a very young secondary that could compete with fast wide receivers and tight ends.
Right.
When they caught the ball, and still keep themselves with a manageable cap, with young assets on the field and being competitive for, against those kind of talented speedy receivers.
Yep, definitely.
So, I definitely agree, though. We have to at least give consideration to it, just because I don't want to pay Bosa $35 to $40 million. That's one of the least things I want to do.
I mean, like, I was against the Niners drafting Bosa for this because I was like, I don't think he's going to stay healthy. But you could argue that even though I was right that he hasn't stayed healthy, you could argue the Niners were right to draft him because he's still an asset. He's a trade asset. He's worth a lot. Had they drafted anyone else, still wouldn't be worth as much. They might have a brighter future. So if they feel like, let's get one more season out of Nick Bosa, play him as much as we can, get whatever we can, and then instead of paying him a lot of money, just blessed that we got 2 good years for relatively cheap and let the next team deal with the headache that is his durability. I think that's, I don't know, it's a reasonable way to deal with it. Unless the Niners are really, really believe that he's not injury prone. And the stuff that he's dealt with 3 times now, the 3 major surgeries before 24 were all flukes that were not related. Possible they feel that way. I don't.
Yeah, the one team, two teams I could see wanting him that still have potentially high draft picks are Jacksonville with Urban Meyer being the coach, and the Jets because they have a lot of draft picks. And why would they want to have that when they could try to flip maybe a high pick or 2 for Nick Bosa? And I know Robert Saleh still loves Nick Bosa as a player, so I don't see that being the worst thing. And one last thing. Agree about injuries with muscles and tendons and ligaments. They get weaker when you injure them.
That's right.
If you're a runner, you don't want to be pulling a hamstring or injuring a calf or anything like that. It's one thing if you get a broken bone, broken bones recover pretty well as long as the recovery is going well and they get stronger. So that's all.
I see Nick Bosa's legs. I'm like, that's very impressive, man. How your tendons doing? How those tendons, man?
Yeah.
Better make sure they're good. All right, man. Good to see you, Doug.
All right, thank you. You have a nice week.
Take care. Almost called him dog. Only George Kittle's my dog. What's up, Amin? How you doing? What up? What's up, man?
Bro, I'm so tired right now.
I know. I'm sorry. I did the early Cohn phone this weekend, man.
I know.
Sorry,
bro. Your camera is like hella ugly.
So bad. Should I just turn it off and go? Should I just turn it? Is it
honestly.
distracting?
I'm not.
Okay, I'll turn it off. All right. Okay, I'm good here. All right, let's do that. All right, let's talk.
So, in my opinion, Trey Lance has the most pressure out of all rookie quarterbacks. I'm gonna say it now.
Why?
I'm gonna say it. Trey Lance has the most pressure out of all rookie quarterbacks because, like, if Trevor Lawrence doesn't succeed, that's probably not gonna be his fault. Unless Jacksonville builds a team around him that can help him win and give him an offensive line and give him more weapons, then it's not Trevor Lawrence's fault if he doesn't succeed. And Zach Wilson, same with the Jets, right? The Jets, if you give Zach Wilson weapons and offense better, if you better the offensive line, and if he doesn't succeed, that's his fault. But you still have to build pieces around him. Trey Lance with the Niners already has a defense. He already has an offensive line. He already has wide receivers. And he came from a D. And if it doesn't work, then that's his fault because we already gave. And he also has one of the best head coaches in many circles and many groups. People talk about Kyle Shanahan as one of the best and young minds of the NFL. So if you have, and you also have a really good coach. So if you can't make it work with all of that, you're going to be under the most pressure because everybody expects you to succeed. Everybody expects you to be a good player when you not year one. Nobody's saying that in year one, but everybody expects you to succeed when they put you in the game to play. They expect you to succeed. Also, Trey Lance is a D2 player. He doesn't come from a D1 college. He comes from a D2 college. The only other quarterback that I know that came from a D2 college is Steve McNair. That's the only other one that I know came from a D2 college. So he also came from a D2 college. He has lots of pressure on his shoulders. Number 3, the other reason why he has the most pressure, not even just from the coaches, but from the fans. If he screws up and the other quarterbacks do good, everybody's gonna hate on Trey Lance. All Niners fans are gonna hate Trey Lance. Niners fans are really, really, really hard when it comes to quarterbacks.
Yes.
Really hard when it comes to quarterbacks.
There's another point. Hold on. There's another point. He's got to replace a quarterback who is 22-8 as a starter. 22-8 and took the team. You could say he took it. He was on the team when they went to the Super Bowl. I mean, everyone thinks Trey Lance is going to be better. That's a high bar. Like, people compare him to Josh Allen. Josh Allen's rookie year, his quarterback rating was in the 60s. If Trey Lance has a similar rookie year, Niner fans will be livid. They won't be patient for that. So I totally agree. The stakes couldn't be any higher for him. It's almost unfair. It seems like he's built for it, but really, he has to be great, and he can't. I don't think there can really be a period where he goes on the field and stinks. He has to be better than Jimmy Garoppolo as soon as he's on the field. That's why I talk about he can't play before he's ready. That's what ready is. Ready is better than Jimmy Garoppolo. And it sounds easy, right? But Jimmy's 22-8.
Yeah, if Niners fans will especially turn on Trey Lance if he doesn't do good. And it would make it what would make it worse is that if the other quarterbacks like Justin Fields and if Justin Fields or Mac Jones even kills it when they come into the league and they start playing, that would even make it worse because Niners fans are not patient with their quarterback. If you don't do good and you're not playing good to up to your first round selection, if you don't live up to that standard where you were the first round pick and you don't play good as good as you should, the Niners fans will kill you. Like, look at Alex Smith. Alex Smith got benched. He didn't play that good, and he got benched for Colin Kaepernick. But Alex Smith, nobody cares about Alex Smith because look at Aaron Rodgers. We could have had Aaron Rodgers, but instead we drafted Alex Smith. Yep. Colin Kaepernick was one throw away from taking us to the Super Bowl twice, not once but twice. Yep. So if you made that one throw against Seattle, I know he had those off the field issues where he started kneeling and stuff like that, but still, look at Mike. Just another example. Look at Michael Vick. He was a really good quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, and he had that jail. He went to jail, and then he came back, and the Eagles signed him because he was a really good football player.
Right.
So that same situation could have still occurred with Colin Kaepernick, because if Colin Kaepernick made the Super Bowl twice, and at least if he came down, if he won one of those Super Bowls, then you could still have that argument that Colin Kaepernick won a Super Bowl for us. He's still useful for our team. He's still our quarterback because he won us a Super Bowl. So if Niners fans just turn on their quarterbacks that easily, but look, if Trey Lance doesn't play good, the Niners fans will hate on you.
And again, I'm with you, and that's why I feel like Kyle Shanahan needs to be careful. If they make Trey Lance the starter week 1 and he's no good, Niner fans will say, we want Jimmy immediately. And then if Jimmy comes in and is better, you'll never see Trey Lance again. You will have ruined your 2023 first round draft pick in 2021. You can't let that happen. So I feel like what Jim Harbaugh did when I was 10 years ago was smart. He had Alex Smith, who was a good quarterback, and he waited to play Colin Kaepernick until Colin Kaepernick was at least as good. When Kaepernick had his first start, he tore it up, and the entire team was like, okay, we're okay with Colin Kaepernick being starter from here, or most of the team was. I think that's the smart way to go. You want Trey Lance's first experience on the field to be like Kaepernick's first experience, which was that 4-touchdown performance against the Bears. You were probably 3 years old at the time, but it was maybe 5. It was very impressive. Anyway,
I went back and watched Colin Kaepernick. I watched.
You went back and watched. He was good, man. If you go back and watch Kaepernick his first couple of years, oh man, that's good. That could be what Lance looks like. But anyway, I got to take some more calls. I mean, I appreciate you calling in and dressing up.
One last thing.
Oh yeah, go yeah.
Like you just said, like if Niners fans, if Trey Lance doesn't do good, they'll yell for Jimmy Garoppolo. When Colin Kaepernick and Blaine Gabbert were the quarterbacks of the team, and Blaine Gabbert was doing bad, they would all yell Colin Kaepernick. And then when Colin Kaepernick was doing bad, they would all yell Blaine Gabbert in the stadium.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the most popular player on the 49ers is always the backup quarterback. And that could be Jimmy Garoppolo pretty soon. He could be popular again. Yeah. Hey, great to see you, Mean.
See you later. See you next week.
Yeah, see you next week. All right. I'm going to see. Hold on real quick. Give Bosa injury clause and keep for 2 years. Niners know he puts butts in the seats and sells tickets. Does he sell tickets? I don't think he sells tickets. Only really quarterbacks sell tickets. Jimmy sells tickets. Hey, man, I jumped you because you didn't talk yesterday. What's up, man?
Hey, what up, Grant? Thanks for having me.
Of course.
And hey, I want to say happy Mother's Day, everyone. Take care of your moms today. This is their day. My fiance and mother of my 4-year-old was gracious enough to let me hop on Cohn phone and talk to Grant.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Hey, Grant, we're talking about Bosa. Bosa's the topic. And you might be onto something with those big tree trunk, powerful legs and then the ligaments holding up. Because where you're seeing more issues with that, too, is baseball with these pitchers. Tommy John, these guys are all throwing 95, 100 miles an hour because we're getting bigger, stronger, faster, right? It's like
the tendons are not.
All these pitchers
you've seen with baseball players since the 90s. Yeah.
It's getting worse even lately, though. But one thing that no one's touched on, Nick Bosa is so dang good. He is good when he's on. He's so phenomenal. Yeah. Hey, Grant, have you ever seen the NFL shows on NFL Network, Top 100?
Yes.
Voted on for the players, by the players, right?
Right.
Nick Bosa, his rookie season, number 17. That's the number 17th player in the NFL. Voted on by his peers.
So what is he worth in the trade? If he's, I'm just saying,
trade him.
What is he worth?
I don't want to trade him.
Of course you don't want to trade him. He's good. He's hella good. But is he injury prone?
He is.
Be honest.
He is. But how have we built our team? Our team is built on pass rush, right? And
yeah, yep.
And you know what? You know what I think was a sign, Grant, before the Super Bowl, right? I wanted to get the Super Bowl jersey with the badge on there, right? I'm thinking, oh, I want a Buckner. Hey, Grant.
Yeah.
No, they weren't even selling a Buckner. You could only buy like 3 or 4 players. It was Kittle. It was Bosa. It was Mostert, right? There was no Buckner. I was like, why the heck can't I get a Buckner? A Buckner patch Super Bowl jersey
because we're trading them. Because we're trading them. You don't know.
I mean, come on, you got a Mostert, you don't got a Buckner. But anyway, I just wanted to come on and just remind everyone how phenomenal Nick Bosa is. I even went back and watched him this week 1 against the Cardinals. This guy was wrecking havoc against the Cardinals. I don't know if he got a sack, but he was in Kyler Murray's face consistently.
He's the strongest defensive end in the league. Those legs are inhuman, and his effort is through the roof.
You know what? It's the hand usage. You haven't mentioned his hand usage. You'll see a tackle try to punch him, right? I'm giving you my offensive tackle definition right here. He'll try to punch him, and Bosa comes with the hand swipe to get free. He's coming in barely even touched.
Yeah, but I mean, if he didn't have that leg strength, I mean, he doesn't have super long arms. He does have good hand usage, but it's all predicated on that leg power. When he hits you, yes, his hands are good, but dude, he is
no, he's got both. Yeah, absolutely.
Remember how he manhandled Alejandro Villanueva 2 years ago? He was like 22, 21. Villanueva was like 32. He just ragdolled that grown man. It was like, wow. Okay, this dude is really strong. Really strong. Joey isn't even that strong. No.
And who do you think is going to be our second most, if Bosa's back and we don't expect him to be on a full snap count, but who do you think is going to be the second leader in like sacks? Who do you think is going to be that other edge guy?
I love Samson Ebukam. I think that guy is going to be, I think he's going to have a breakout year. I think he plays really hard. I think he's extremely strong, really strong. He's got a little bit of Bosa in him in terms of his style. He doesn't have the hand usage that Bosa has, but he's really good. I think that guy, not Armstead.
I'm going Arden Key. I think Arden Key can surprise some folks.
Okay. Hey, let's have a gentleman's bet. Samson Ebukam versus Arden Key for next season. All right.
Let's do it.
Gentleman's bet.
Let's sacks.
What? Sacks. Yeah. Whoever gets more.
Sacks.
Total sacks. Absolutely.
All right, Grant. Take it easy.
Good to see you, man. Take care. All right. I'm just trying to jump one more dude to the front of the line who wasn't on yesterday. What's up, Darius?
What's up, sir?
What's up, sir? How you doing?
I'm good. I've been thinking for the past week, and I have a couple questions. So I saw you posted a few videos about how the competition within the NFC West is coming up here, which looks to be a bit better than last year's, which last year's competition was already phenomenal.
Yes.
But one thing you didn't really hit on, and I think I kind of note, is that I think our biggest opponents and our biggest challenge within our division is going to be the Cardinals.
Ooh, I like this topic. Let's talk about it.
Because when I was like looking at their roster, though we like kind of outclass them in a few places, they are still like within a pretty close range of our level, and they can play us really well. They already played us really well last year.
That's true.
And they only got better this offseason, so we only got better, so it's gonna still be really close.
Yeah, I mean, Kyler Murray is improving, and they added JJ freaking Watt and AJ Green and James Conner.
Like they're only looking a lot better, and I do think Seattle, while getting better, they also got a bit worse. And the Rams are still up in the air because they lost their 2 safeties of Cleveland, who's looking like they're going to make a Super Bowl run and be a threat. But they lost their safeties, so they're going to be a bit of a threat in the air, because though you have Ramsey, and Ramsey's going to be an absolute machine, he can't do everything on the defensive side when it comes to the pass game, especially since he can't cover Kittle 24/7. And I've been saying for years that Ramsey is a cornerback who acts like a linebacker because he can hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then my other question was, I've been arguing for years that wins and losses are a team stat, not a quarterback stat. But it's feeling like over the past few years, mainly coming back to like the Colin Kaepernick, Alex Smith days, that for
Mhm.
the 49ers in specific, it feels like a quarterback stat. But I want to know your opinion on it.
Yeah, that's a good question. It seems the reason it's a quarterback stat is because of Jimmy, or
Yeah.
because of Kyle. The fact that Kyle can't win on this team without Jimmy. Every single quarterback he throws out there loses. And then Jimmy comes out with his mediocre skill set and his mediocre understanding of the offense and wins 3/4 of the time. It's like, I don't get it. So I think
It
that's
doesn't
what
feel
it
right.
is. That's why Jimmy, basically, the main thing going for him is his win-loss record, which isn't necessarily his. But he stepped on a 1-10 team and went 5-0. There's something about him. Well, there used to be.
He's like they always talk, like they talk about it for years, that I saw like conversations saying that they're not sure Brady would have became Brady if he didn't get drafted by Belichick
Right.
and worked in Belichick's system. And you can kind of apply that to Jimmy. I don't think Jimmy would have been nearly anywhere where he was if he didn't become a 49er. And it really does feel like a quarterback stat, mainly on the premise that this team last year, if they had any sorts of quarterback stability with Jimmy back there, because a lot of people like try to discredit it, but Jimmy did play pretty well when he was on the field. He didn't have like his shining moments, but he was the quarterback that was like getting this job done for us for a lot of the time. But we act like this team doesn't have its holes, and it has its holes. We can say injuries, injuries, injuries all we want, but if we don't have we don't have a stable quarterback play, we're not going to win games. And that's been the 49ers issue for years at this point. We've always had the pieces, but no good quarterback to kind of keep
And
up
like
with
the Niners, like they traded for Jimmy Garoppolo. They knew that he broke in his second start when Tom Brady was suspended. They took a they. I mean, you didn't know much about Jimmy Garoppolo. You knew he'd started 2 games and gotten hurt in one of them, and they said, okay, let's give him a lot of money. They got to start taking these things more seriously. I mean, they went from drafting players who were injured with Trent Baalke to signing players who were injured, like Quan Alexander, and trading for guys with injury histories like D Ford. I mean, they got to stop with this stuff.
and
Jimmy too.
they
Jimmy had the history. He went down.
he did go down. And I've been like seeing it all over. I applaud like all these 49ers that are going out here knowing that they're bound to feel injury at some point, trying to do their absolute most to get the treatment they need and build their muscles like they need to stay healthy, because I think the sentiment in the locker room is that we can win, but we need to be on the field. And
Yeah.
that's felt like the hard part even since 2019. A lot of people don't like to remember it, but we were banged up on offense specifically in 2019. We were pretty banged up. That's why we go from having one of the most offensive shootouts I've ever seen in New Orleans to barely losing to Atlanta the very next week because our offense was banged up. And
Yep.
a lot of people
Yeah.
don't talk about it. And then the whole thing with McGlinchey coming out and talking, I understand that he's probably being told, hey, you probably need to start saying some things, but the way you're saying things and the things that you're saying, you're not putting yourself in a good light, and that's making things dangerous on the team front because it's starting to make people question what's going on. So,
Agree. Darius, it's a pleasure to see you, man.
plus you.
Take care. Jose, I got you. Another thing about Lance working with Ayuk, I feel he will be the #1 target when Lance starts, like how Crabtree got all the love when Kaepernick started. Yeah, I don't know how much Lance and Ayuk are like throwing to each other. I mean, I think they're working out. They're staying in shape. I don't know. I mean, there's going to be an OTA. There's going to be rookie mini camp. These guys are going to be – Trey Lance is going to be throwing to all these guys in OTAs. But, yeah, it's a good point. They will at least be building a bond together, which is cool. QMac says, just watched YouTube of Trey Sermon Beast. Watch them from OU as well as Ohio State. I'm 100% behind that pick. Also, Bosa was a product of Buckner. Yeah, I mean, Bosa, we don't know what he's going to do without Buckner and D Ford on the field. He never really produced without D Ford on the field. Now he's going to need to do it without D Ford and DeForest. Alex says, hello from Montreal. What's up, man? Keep up the excellent work. Watch out for Amin. He's going to take your job eventually. I know. That's the problem of bringing all these people onto my show, is that I'm just creating competition for myself. I'm just going to shut it all down like Willy Wonka eventually. Waruna, how you doing? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry.
This happened. No, there you go. There you go. What's up,
Okay.
man? How you doing? What's up?
Yeah. Actually, reading more into Steve Young, it helped me to understand the Kyle Shanahan's frustration towards Jimmy.
All right.
So let me bring up a stat. So in 2019, Jimmy's best season, played 16 games. Then he threw for almost 4,000 yards with 27 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 2-to-1 ratio, right? And number of sacks, 36. So Steve Young, at age of 37, 1998, played 15 games, 11-4 record, passed for almost 4,200 yards, 36 touchdowns with 12 interceptions, 3-to-1 record, 3-to-1 interception ratio with 6 rushing touchdowns with another 600 yards. But tell me, how many
he rushed
sacks?
for 600 yards when he was 37?
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
Wow.
So the interesting
God, I love
thing,
Steve, man. My favorite.
Yeah. Now, tell me how many sacks he got, Steve Young, at age 37.
That's an interesting question. I'm thinking less than Jimmy. Let's say 20, 29.
48.
48. Wow.
Yes. And
48.
remember with the rules that we have today to protect the quarterback, those 48 are like 1.5 times, 72.
Yeah.
So Jimmy 36.
Serious hits he was taking, yeah.
Jimmy 36, he's 72. Bad offensive line, still he can throw 4,200 yards. Yeah. So that's what the question comes in. That's where the Kyle Shanahan's frustration, because Jimmy G is like this high maintenance girlfriend. Everything needs to be up to the scale. You need offensive line, you need receivers, you need running game, number one defense, right? You can't do that. In NFL, you need professional athletes or above the average, because at high school level, you can develop whatever the team that you have. But in NFL, that's why Jason Garrett says that build the team that you want to coach, not the other way around. Because if you are keep building the players, developing the players, within 3 to 4 years, your job is gone as a head coach. You can't spend that time. Let's take last 10 years. How many average quarterbacks won the Super Bowl? Joe Flacco and Nick Foles. Even Nick Foles came during the latter part of the season. Carson Wentz did most of the job, getting Eagles into the playoffs. Right?
Yep.
So that's one of the major reasons that why Kyle talks about Trey Lance being a CEO. He's super excited about it. He watched his tape.
Yeah.
That's the reason, because he needs, even though how good Kyle Shanahan as a coach, his offensive scheme is, he needs a good quarterback that can bail him out when it is necessary. Throw that pass like catch to Terrell Owens to bail him out. Can Jimmy ever? I'll ask frankly from.
So you're saying Kyle's going from a high maintenance girlfriend to a girlfriend who picks him up from work, makes him dinner, does his laundry, tells him he loves him, that kind of stuff. It's going from
something he can live with.
All right.
Something he can live with. Right.
All right. That sounds like an upgrade. He's going to be pretty happy pretty soon.
Yes, a practical situation. And one more quick thing. When I was reading into this, now our perception about Mike Shanahan and Kyle is that they cannot develop quarterbacks, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Steve Young, his best years came after Mike Shanahan became the offensive coordinator.
Yes.
So here's the reason. When Steve Young joined 49ers, he was a run-first quarterback. Every time pocket collapses or he was flushed out, he would start running. But Mike Shanahan told him, Steve, look, teams know that you are start running if the receivers aren't open. So before the line of scrimmage, keep looking. Throw while run. If there is opportunity, throw while run. He started doing that. Then he got 2 MVP awards within 3 years. Steve Young specifically says after Mike Shanahan got into 49ers as offensive coordinator, his game went into the next level. And one more thing, Steve Young was afraid to throw to the receivers without seeing the receivers because he was 6'2". His offensive line is higher than him, so he never threw blindly before Mike Shanahan arrived. Shanahan said, "Okay, Steve, you got to trust Jerry Rice. He will be on the position. Throw to him." Then Jerry Rice and Steve Young became the most successful receiver quarterback combination. 83 touchdown passes. That's how Mike Shanahan, these are small things. That's how Mike Shanahan improved Steve Young. And one more stat. John Elway won 2 Super Bowls. Who was the head coach?
Mike Shanahan. There you go.
There you go. So that's why Kyle needs a proper quarterback.
There you go. All right. Thanks, Waruna. Appreciate it.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
All right. I got someone new that I got to jump to the front of the line. I don't know if you're new, but what's up? You're not new. What's up? You're chilling from the Baldwin Hills, right?
Yeah.
Chilling in the Baldwin Hills, man. What's up?
No, right now I'm in downtown right now, though. I just bought a condo. I'm about to Airbnb, so I'm over here right now. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm just over here right now. I'm a couple blocks from the Staples Center right now.
That's what's up.
Yeah, you remember I told you about Talanoa Hufanga. We got that on camera now. I know you remember that, right?
That was before the draft. So can you remind us?
That was about 2 months ago.
I was like, I have no idea who you're talking about.
Yeah. Talanoa Hufanga, don't worry, man. As long as he's healthy, which I think he will be, we got a star. I'll tell you that now. But as far as the rest of the draft, I'm not crazy about it. I know the Cohn heads might try to come get me or whatever, but I'm not crazy about the draft, honestly.
Why?
Mainly, we passed on Simi Fehoko. I think, to me, he's another wide receiver version of George Kittle. And the fact that we didn't get him when we could have, and we took a running back over him, I didn't get it, but hey, I'm also not going to be one of the fans who's just going to diss the draft. I'm going to let it play out as it does. If it might happen to be a great one. So I'm not going to just say it was a bad draft. I'm just going to say I'm not crazy about it. And another thing is the NFC West. I mean, it's already the NFC best, but it's gotten so much better. I don't think you guys get that. I don't know if you know about Tamori and Terry, but out of Florida State, he's another 6'3" receiver that just went to the Seahawks. You get me? So, now we got him and DK over there. And his problem was off the field. So it wasn't like he should have went undrafted. He just had off the field. On the field, the guy's a dog. You get me? So,
and the Niners can't cover really receivers like that.
We already have a problem with DK already, So now you got him, Lockett, and Tamori and Terry. That's bad. Then you got the Cardinals. They went and got they got a top receiver, and then they got Hop, they got Fitz, and they got AJ Green on top of the new one that they just drafted. You read the
Rondale Moore.
Yeah. Yep. So come on now, so I'm not crazy about our draft like that, but I said, I'm willing. I felt that we should have got Asante Samuel Jr. He was right in our lap. We could have got him. We were projected to get him. We passed on him, but like I said, hopefully us passing on those receivers mean that we're getting Julio Jones or Odell or something like that, because we got to match fire with fire, in my eyes.
Real quick, before you go, can you explain what you like? I mean, because Talanoa better than anyone else here. So can you just give us the scouting report?
Well, I know you're a UCLA guy, Grant, because I'm a USC guy, unfortunately, on your end, but I've been watching this dude, and the dude, I'm telling you, I promise you, he reminds me of Troy Polamalu. I'm telling you. If he's healthy, that's the vibes I get from him as Troy P. They call him the missile, some call him the torpedo, some call him the missile. The dude is a star. He plays faster than what you think on the field, and he's a hitter. I know you don't like the reckless hitting, mainly because of Jaquiski, but
man, he's a 5th-round pick. Go knock yourself out, man.
Knock yourself out.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we got something good. Like I said, as long as he's healthy, It's not going to be where, oh, he's healthy, but he just can't produce. Like, no, we're not going to get another Taylor Mays or nothing like that. We got a star over there. Don't worry about it. He's going to be great. And I just can't wait till the season starts, to be honest. But
You look
I'm definitely
chilling on
going
like
to
a
get back.
rooftop bar right now.
Oh, yeah, man. You know me, Grant. Come on now.
Yeah, I like it, man. Go have a great day in downtown LA, man.
You too, man. I'm going to see you next week, Grant.
All right, man. Good to see you. Michael, sorry to make you wait like that. Good to see you. How you doing? Oh, I can't hear you. If you're muted, call back in. I'll put you right. You're the only person waiting. Call back in. Shardal, you're muted too, but you just got to press the unmute button. There you go.
Let me put my volume high because it makes me sound better when I have my volume.
No, put the volume low. Because that's the echo. Put the volume down. There you go.
Oh.
There you go.
So my question is about Talna Hufanga. What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
About the safety from USC?
Well, the previous caller is a USC fan. He says that the guy is Troy Polamalu 2.0. If you don't know who Troy Polamalu is or don't remember him, search his highlights on YouTube. They're not in HD, I don't think, but he was a hell of a player who went to USC and played for the Steelers.
And my second question is, Solomon Thomas got signed by the to the Las Vegas Raiders. Do you think that was a bad move for Solomon Thomas to make that move? Because I don't know if that was a stupid move for him to go to the Raiders. He should have stayed in the Niners. He would have, for a couple of more years, he should have stayed in San Francisco.
I don't think the Niners wanted him.
Move for him to.
Hold on, I'm going to mute you because there's an echo. I don't think the Niners wanted him. I don't think many teams wanted Solomon Thomas. I don't think he's good. The Raiders thought he's good. The Raiders gave him $5 million. I think that's a great move for Solomon Thomas that he gets to get another $5 million to play a sport that he really has no business being a professional at. So that's all I'm going to say. Hey, I got to let you go because of this echo. Either get some earphones or just turn it down, man, because it's very loud. All right. Good to see you, man. Michael.
Can you hear me now?
Absolutely. It happened to a couple of other callers too.
Yeah, it don't matter.
All right.
Now, I wanted to talk about Trey Lance and our run game. Okay. I don't think Trey Lance is going to have to carry the team, or I don't think Jimmy is neither, because our run game with the two interior offensive linemen we drafted, having the new center, Trent back, I think with what we added with the run game, it's going to be probably 65, 70% run, 30% pass from now on.
Yep.
And I don't think we're going to have a problem running over any team with what we added.
Yes, I agree.
That's my opinion.
I think that's the plan. I think that's what the Shanahans like to do. We got to help a quarterback beef up the run game. It makes sense because in 2019, part of the formula that worked for them was having the best run game. And last year, they didn't have anything near that. So I think they should be right up there again, like they were 2 years ago, right up there with the Ravens.
Yeah, I think we probably might have the number one run game this year. I see a lot of similarities.
I see a lot of similarities between the Niners and the Ravens. I mean, Lamar Jackson is unique, but Trey Lance can do a lot of that stuff. And then the Ravens paired Lamar Jackson with an Ohio State running back. The Niners did the exact same thing. Seems like there's some similarities there.
Yeah, and the difference in Trey Lance too, though, he's built like a linebacker. He's huge. You know, he's not a small quarterback. I mean, he's Cam Newton 2.0, basically, you know, as far as body-wise. And I just think we're going to run all over him. You said that you were going to have a round table or whatever and could get nobody to join. Ask me. I don't mind chatting.
Oh, yeah. I got you next time.
Do a round table and can't get nobody else. Add me.
So I was trying to get the round tables. I think of them as ways for me to promote the writers of my website.
Okay.
I try to promote people in different avenues. So, but yeah, good call. I got you, man.
I just like debating with people.
Of course.
You know,
yeah.
And everything. But, yeah, the run game is going to be a whole lot better. We are going to have a preseason game. If they're going to open the stadium full, there's no reason you can't have two preseason games.
Yeah, unless the NFLPA boycotts it, but I don't think they will. I don't think they will.
Why would you boycott it?
I don't know. I mean, they're trying to. I mean, I don't know if the NFLPA is going to advise players to go to OTAs. They may say don't go, But I hope players go anyway, man. Because to me, I don't know what that's about. I think
don't take no money if you don't go practice.
Trey Lance needs to go to practice. Brandon Ayuk
I think he's going to show up. I think there's going to be a lot of people going to show up.
I think so too.
You know, Jimmy G's going to have to show up to keep his job. Because if Trey's the only one there, and I know Trey ain't going to miss it. I don't see him listening to anybody. He's showing up. He's going to practice. I mean, he's out working out with Brandon Ayuk now. He don't have to.
Right.
You know, he's going to force his way in that door, and he's going to force his way into that starting job.
I love that about him. I
like it too. I mean, he's a true leader.
If Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't want to be here, take the team. Take it right now. Be the leader. I like that. Yeah. I think he's got true leadership. I think he's showing it.
You know, if he goes into OTAs and there ain't but a few guys there and he takes all the reps, Jimmy G's not going to start the season there.
Good. See you, Jimmy. Yeah. Make it easy. And the thing I love what Kyle's saying. He's saying basically, I don't have to call it a competition. It's a competition. We all know it's a competition. So I can call it whatever I want to call it. When Trey Lance shows that it's time, it's his time.
I don't care what owner or what general manager is or who the head coach is. You don't draft a quarterback 3rd overall and not take him for a test run.
And I don't care what all the players on the team say about Jimmy Garoppolo. We know what Kyle Shanahan thinks of him. All right,
he doesn't like him.
He doesn't like him. That's why they got Trey Lance. So there's nothing more that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to show that's going to change Kyle Shanahan's mind. It's just about Trey whenever he's ready. So you can call it a competition. You can call it a learning experience, whatever. Whenever Trey's ready, Kyle's going to say, wow, he's great. It's his team. Thank you, Jimmy, for your service. We appreciate it. Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. I can't wait to
And it is a Bosa thing. I agree. If Bosa doesn't stay uninjured all season long this year, you don't even look at him the next year. You trade him.
Just trade him. Oh, my God. We can get a first-round pick for you. Great. Thank you.
Part ways with him.
Thank you for giving us 2 healthy years. That was great.
They started to move towards that with this draft of drafting people that ain't injured. 5th round, 6th round, 7th round. I can understand taking a shot at somebody.
Perfect.
But you never take that 1st round pick, 2nd round, 3rd round, even 4th round people with injury prone. You know, you just don't do it. You know, move on from Bosa. Sign, use his money towards our linebacker, Fred Warner. You know,
they're doing a good job to address the injury thing. It starts with not drafting a bunch of them, but it's been an issue for 8 years. It's going to take a long time for them to fix this issue. And one of the things they can do is to start flipping some of these injury-prone players because there's a lot of them that they're investing.
Flip them for picks and move them picks towards people that ain't injured.
Yes, agree. So that only because Bosa is the most intriguing because even though he is injury-prone, he's ranked the 17th best player in the league. He is a trade asset. You can get something very interesting for him.
Same with George Kittle.
Yes. Only thing is Kittle's about 4 years older. Bosa.
Yeah, but you can still get a couple 1st-round picks for George Kittle.
No doubt. And, he's in the same boat. Guy missed 8 games last year. You have to consider it. You have to.
He needs to start becoming healthy.
Yeah.
He needs to put back-to-back seasons together.
Niner fans always want to talk about trades, but it's never players who have any value. It's always like, hey, let's trade Eric Armstead. Okay. Well, no one wants that contract.
No, nobody wants that contract.
No one wants that contract.
No. So
all right, Michael.
All right, we'll see. I just want to
see you next time.
About the run game a little bit.
All right, appreciate it. Good to see you. Real quick, Mose, I'm just going to take one little thing, and then you're on. Eric says, name a Super Bowl winning team that has had an elite wide receiver the last 10 years. Tyreek Hill is the only one. Yeah, and their number one guys, Travis Kelce. Elite wide receivers win fantasy championships, not Super Bowls. We are fine with wide receivers we have because we have Kittle. Yeah, it really, you can double a wide receiver and take him out of a game. You need more than one target. You need multiple targets to win the Super Bowl. Mose knows best. What's up?
Grant, what's good with you, baby?
I'm hanging out, baby. How you doing?
I'm all right. I actually wasn't going to jump on. I'm chilling with the fans.
I saw people in there. They're like, come on, Mose, you got to jump in. I appreciate it, man. Popular demand. I saw it.
The missus gave me the okay, so I jumped real quick. You know what I mean?
Is that why people aren't calling in? Because like they don't want to get in trouble. It's like, hey, man,
I'm listen.
Mother's Day. I don't want to have visual evidence of me on camera on Mother's Day.
Yeah, I'm sure that is. Normally I wouldn't say anything. When it comes to football, she let me do my thing. But on Mother's Day, I had to look over like,
thank you.
Is it okay?
Thank you. I got the same okay, so thank you. Yep.
She was like, it's Grant, so it's cool.
I appreciate it.
I mean, I hear what y'all saying, man, but I just can't see us getting rid of Nick Bosa. Like, what he provides on the defense, and like he's the ranked 17th best player. What he provides, yeah, we had a good defense. Yeah, we had Buckner on the line, but what he's able to provide from a pass rush standpoint, before we got him, we was like, our defense would be much better if we had a pass rusher. If only we had a pass rush. If only we had a pass rush. We get a pass rush. Yes, he tore his ACL, but I think that was circumstances he couldn't control.
Okay.
He tore his
That's
ACL
fair.
in high school, but that was in high school. His body was still developing. That was a fluke incident. He had the core injury in college, but that was different. And this ACL tear, it was the other leg. And let's be honest, that field is trash. We had 2 ACL injuries in the span of 5 minutes in the same game.
That is true.
You know what I mean? So,
that is true.
Like,
and a high ankle sprain. At least one high ankle sprain. Yeah. That's true. Look, I guess what the thing with Bosa is, you have to ask the question, do you think he's injury prone? And there's no right answer. I think he is. You say maybe he's not. There's no right answer. And the thing is, he might not be. And if you trade him and he's not, then you just traded away a Hall of Fame player after trading away Buckner. And that's not good for you as a general manager or as a franchise. I don't know. They have to get to the bottom of that. I don't know. Here's the thing. Would you play him on a snap count, or would you just throw him in there and say, look, man, you're 23. We need you to play?
From what I've seen from him this offseason and knowing how he plays the game and how he likes to play the game, I wouldn't put him on a snap count. I let him go out there and and he knows his body best. I let him tell me what he feels. But if he wants to get out there and he looks good and he's playing well and he's not showing any signs of, he's uncomfortable with the leg or no lack of confidence, let him play, because energy and what he brings from a defensive standpoint, what he's going to command. And we talked about this last week with Javon Kinlaw. I think Bosa will open up stuff for Kinlaw. I think he'll open up stuff for Samson Ebukam. When Bosa's on the field, it's going to make that whole front four so much better, because we saw in his rookie year, they doubled and triple teamed him. They had wide receivers chipping him, running backs chipping him, tight ends chipping him. They had 2 and 3 guys on him sometimes. So what he's going to command just because of the last name that's on his jersey, if they see Bosa 97 on the field, he's going to command attention, and that's just going to help people. And I kind of liken it to what Houston did with J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt, you can say J.J. Watt may be injury prone.
True.
He had injury year after year after year, but still defensive player of the year. When he was healthy and when he could play, he made a difference.
That's true.
Somebody like that, I know we have to watch the cap. Hopefully we'll get rid of Jimmy soon. If not this year, next year, that'll clear some cap space. We don't really have that many big contracts. We have Kittle. We're going to have to extend Fred if we want to extend Fred. But to me personally, I think Bosa has to stay just for what he can do. Now, if he has another major injury this season, then we can talk. But
the problem is, if he has another major injury this season, his value goes in the toilet. Because then he is injury prone and everyone knows it.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's the risk that we take.
That's the risk you got to take, man. And look, that's what I'm saying. Put him out there, and if he gets hurt, that's the cost of doing business. You can't put him in bubble wrap this whole life, man. Ohio State babied him. Play him, dude. You got to play. It's football. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I jump out there.
Sure.
I love what Trey Lance is doing. He may not be, throwing to Ayuk, but just the fact that him and Ayuk are down there, and then Richie James went down there too. We talked about Richie James.
Yeah.
We talked about wanting to see him get some more opportunities. The fact that those guys are down there, and even if they're not having, one-on-one pass sessions, the fact that they're just getting to know each other, the fact that they're starting to build that bond. I heard you talk about it, heard some other people talk about it. When you talk about leadership, when you talk about actually doing the work that it takes to get to know your teammates, not just as a teammate, but as a man, right? Just have those one-on-one conversations. What makes you tick? What is it about you? What is it about this sport that you say, this is what makes me go? This is how I perform. This is how I win. And him learning that as the quarterback to help elevate and continue to build those young guys, it's amazing to see already.
Yes.
It's absolutely amazing to see. I'm loving what I'm seeing from him. I hope Debo can get connected with him. I think if we get Debo and Ayuk and just have them just sit in the room and just chop it up, for the next couple until we get to, OTAs and mini camp and training camp, I think that'll do wonders for the kid. And he's already showing signs of his professionalism and his maturity. He just turned 21. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really, really maturity is the word. It's really impressive. I'll see you tomorrow, man.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one.
You too, man. Take it easy.
All right. Where are you driving?
I got to pick up some stuff for Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I guess we got to do that. Real quick, hold on, real quick. Jeffrey says the Niners have a strong run game, but will it be good enough to be unstoppable? Next year, we can't win when it's up to JG in a passing game. Was it be unstoppable? It's never unstoppable. It's never unstoppable. I don't know, Jimmy. One of these quarterbacks going to have to do something. What's on your mind today, sir?
Oh, I think the 49ers have already told you what they're going to do. They're going to put Bosa on a pitch count for all those one-year defensive linemen that they've signed, essentially.
True.
And he's on a snap count. I foresee him playing every other series until week 8, week 9. Yeah. And they save him for the playoffs because that's how you do it. And if I'm Nick, why would I put myself at risk? Because you said it perfectly. Another injury, I'm not worth that much. It's over, right? Yeah. No, he wants more money than his brother, and his brother got paid quite a bit of money. And his brother was injury prone too, and the Chargers put him on a pitch count the year coming back, and he did phenomenal. I mean, he had like 9 sacks in like half the pitch count. That's probably what's going to happen, and they've probably have signed a lot of one-year contracts to protect Bosa, to make sure that really that's probably what's going to happen. Are they going to be as good as they were in 2019? No, I don't think so. But if they can be, even 80% of that, that was pretty good. And like I said, that's with the understanding that you're going to get something from D Ford. Now, if you don't get anything from D Ford, then I think you're going to have to generate blitz, man cover, which I think they're probably going to do a little bit more, which, they sign players who are more man guys than they are coverage guys, because I think they know they're going to probably have to blitz a little bit more than they have in the past, right? Mm-hmm. Probably. With the pitch count, with D Ford and Bosa coming back, I think it's fascinating that arguably your 2 best pass rushers are coming back from injuries, and just pencil them in as they're going to be normal isn't realistic. So it isn't. So you may see a totally different team, comparatively versus that piece. And the other question I have is, the schedule is my favorite time of the season because you get to be a prognosticator and guess where they're going to go and see where your teams play. Yeah. How many primetime games do you think they're going to have?
Oh, man. Quite a few.
You think at least 4, right? I'm thinking at least 4, right? If you're good, you get 4. Yes. So with that in mind, with the schedule and how it's going to lay out with the 17-week game schedule coming up this week, who do you think they're going to open up with? Do you think they're going to be either a Monday night game, or you think they're going to actually be something like away, home, comparatively? If you were
I think they like to be on the road early in the season because it's so hot, and their fans don't like Levi's until like October. So what do you think?
You know what? I foresee them being the doubleheader of the Monday night, because I think Monday night's a doubleheader. I could see them playing against the Rams or Seattle the first week, which would be beneficial to us, because I think playing Seattle early is probably a good thing versus later on in the year.
Okay. Well, that would be exciting. I hope we find out this week, and I'm excited because I'm going to be booking my trips. I'm going to be traveling to half of the away games. I'm going to Chicago, Nashville, Arizona, Seattle. I'm excited.
Oh, okay. All right. I Well, I'll have to message you because I'll be going to about 3 or 4 away games. I think I'm going to go to Detroit. I think they're away in Detroit and a couple
Right.
other places, Cincinnati maybe, depending on how
Yeah.
cold it is.
I might skip Detroit.
It's indoors.
Yeah, the whole experience is indoors, right? The Ren Center, the whole thing. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right, man. Good to see you. Go have a great
Good to see
Mother's
you.
Day. All right,
Thank
take
you.
care.
Bye.
All right. It's the last call of the day. Then I got to go enjoy my Mother's Day. What's up, Coach?
What's going on, man?
How you doing, man?
Mother's Day. I'm doing great.
Yeah, same to you.
Yeah. So Nick Bosa, man. So
you hate when I do this. You hate it.
No, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I think you're barking up the right tree, right? But maybe you need to go a little lower. Or I don't.
Okay.
The thing is, so we talked about before, like premium positions, pass rusher, edge rusher. It's a premium position. So, like, I don't really want to get rid of that premium position. And I think where you look for to recoup that one is where can you get constantly restock talent in the draft?
I know what you're gonna say right now. Hold on. I know you. I've never met you in real life, but I know you. Okay, hold on. Wait a second. You are gonna say the Niners should trade Debo.
You got
boom. How did I know that? Because I just know you like that. I think it's a great point.
I can replace him any year. Like Kyle, you love taking wide receivers early anyway. So like we could kill two birds with one stone. We could get back draft picks. You could take another wide receiver and you could be happy. You could get another draft pick, and then you get rid of an injury prone player. And like if Trey Lance is as good as you think he is, the quarterback is going to make your receivers. You see it all the time. Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, like all these guys. Like even Deshaun Watson, right? Like he really have a terrible season without not
statistically.
No, like
no.
Because
also Debo, he's like half receiver, half running back. I mean, he is replaceable. He's unique, but you can replace those things. You can get another ball carrier that is drafted 2 running backs.
If you have a great quarterback, the great quarterback is going to make the receiver. Just give him you can constantly Ben Roethlisberger, the Steelers. I know like part of it is the organization, right? So they do a good job of drafting, but the other part of it is the quarterback. The quarterback is making these guys. So
that's another guy too. If they don't extend him, he's due for an extension next offseason. So they're going to have a decision to make with Debo Samuel to extend or to trade. I think fans you can see what you're saying. I mean, he's injury prone too. He's more replaceable. Why not Debo?
It's harder. It's harder to replace the pass rusher than it is to replace the receiver. Look, like Antonio Brown was just hanging out, and like look how many receivers just hanging out in the offseason. Just like, I mean, isn't Larry Fitzgerald still out there? Like,
right. But if you trade Bosa and then spend that pick on another edge rusher, he could be trash. He could be nothing compared to Bosa, right? You could.
It's just harder. They're just harder to find. The other thing is,
did Raiders trade Khalil Mack and end up taking like Cleveland Ferrell and some other guys?
How'd that work out?
That didn't work. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The other thing too is with Nick Bosa is I think you might possibly trade him, but he's got a lot of years left on his deal. I mean, he still has the 5th-year executable. Yeah. Then after that, you can franchise tag him, still have an opportunity to trade him. I think if you trade him, I don't think you trade him next year. I think you really because you're getting, even if on his 5th-year option, I think it's $10 million. If you're getting that kind of production off of a $10 million player at a pass rushing position, when that's a premium position, if you got to pay him, he's going to get paid probably at least twice that. Like, just take it. And I think you got to take stock of where your roster is at that point, right? If at that point, like you're make a Super Bowl run, I think you just, his value to your team would be too high. Like, just let's roll with it. And then the next year franchise tag him and then trade him for 2 draft picks.
That's smart. And I just feel like with Bosa, he's like a McLaren, like he's the most expensive car in your garage and you love it. But the problem is it's broken down 3 times. And you're thinking if it breaks down, you're on the verge of having like a $300,000 car be worthless. But maybe those breakdowns were just flukes and you could really have a great McLaren working well. But it's like, man, are you really willing to take the risk that this thing could break down again and end up costing you all of that? And you can't recoup any of it. That's scary to me.
Yeah,
you got to ask that question. Is he seriously injury prone? Niner fans don't want to ask that question.
Yeah, no, I know. No, I think he probably. I mean, time will tell, but it's just because of that. It's a pre. Any other position probably if it was left tackle, quarterback, pass rusher, and then we talked about corner. Like I'm going to give you more leeway at those positions because it's such a premium position, you know. And then
so you would trade Kittle before you would trade Bosa. You would trade Debo before you would trade Bosa. That's fair. That's fair. And those guys have injury issues too, and they could get you a first round pick.
And the fact that it's early, right? Like, and because it's a premium position, I feel like I'm always going to get value, even if he had another injured year. I feel like I'm still going to get value from him because he's at a premium position. And I do think, power is part of his game. And I'd love to do a video about Bosa.
Yes, we could do that.
He's so technically sound, and
he is.
Talk about his hand, but it's not just hand. It's how he can set up. It's how he sets up his.
Yes.
It's how he sees it and has a counter to what the offensive lineman is doing. And that's.
But if he didn't have those thunder thighs, it wouldn't be as effective. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. I don't know.
His name is Thunder Thighs from now on. Sorry.
It's also like he might have a muscle imbalance, right? So it's not just, I think, that he's so compact. It's like when you have to be when you're
too much in the quads, not enough on the hamstring, something like that.
Yeah, like it's like you can't do front, you can't do all chest and then not do back because then all your tightness is pulling here.
That's right.
And then you get those injuries. So
yes,
if you go to like a physical therapist / trainer can retrain your muscles to build more strength, so you don't have that counterproductive pulling of the muscle.
I ran track. I was a sprinter and my senior year, and a lot of the football players would run track too. And I remember the track coaches always complaining about the football coaches, like, man, these athletes come and they're way too muscled up in their quads. Like, why don't they do hamstring injuries? What is this? I remember they would talk about that all the time.
Yeah,
me, I played soccer. I didn't lift any weight, so I didn't have that issue.
Yeah, balance. It's
yeah.
So there's certain like you can't. Really have to lift at all muscle groups to make sure it's balanced. Otherwise, you start getting some of this and do yoga.
Like, hey man, okay. I think the Cohn phone is over. I think we need to go do Mother's Day. Great to see you. Thank you for coming on. The Debo thing was a nice little twist. That was smart.
Yeah,
that was really
smart. And my shirt matches your last comment.
Yeah. All right, man. Have a great day.
You too. All right.
All right. I gotta end the show. Thanks so much. Spontaneous Construction says if you're still in Santa Cruz, check out the Bakerly or Jalapenos Taqueria. I'm gonna check out Jalapenos Taqueria. Steve-O, I'm sorry I didn't get to you, man. It's 10:30. It's mom time. I'll get you next time. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm out.